Okay, good. Was kind of worried for a second there.
Oh shit, you want to get the lights?
Do my job. You have one job, Cameron. You have one set of buttons to push.
Do the thing. Do the thing. Do it. And all cylinders. And good morning! I see Steve with First Blood. And Steve, I don't care if anybody else was in the comments before you made it. We went live. That first comment, you are First Blood. Jesus.
You know, Alex talked about this on their broadcast as well. It's like, look, for you guys that comment 5 and 10 minutes before the show goes live, I'm not trying to check all those. And yeah, that's something I understand. Like, I realize it just seems like we sit here and push buttons and run our mouths, and if you want to be cynical, yeah, that's what we do. But there's a little more to it than that. Like, there's multiple screens going on here so that we can keep up with everything,
the
right?
comments are there. The Rumble feed is there. The show feed is here. The meme bucket is over here. The show feed for the Restream platform is over here. The articles are here. And there's the camera. Hi, guys. But good morning! And I see Danny has joined us. Good morning, Megan. Good morning. Sergeant Major, Your Majesty. Jamie is here. And Dan, last but not least. And I think I already said good morning, Danny. Good morning, Danny.
And then Lieutenant Atombaum, good morning.
And Lieutenant Atombaum. I think LT Atombaum is in the sunny state of the glorious new God Imperator DeSantis. And just for you, Atombaum, I just want to point out this is a mug from Patrick Space Force Base. Sergeant Major took Maul down there for a little sightseeing, and they watched. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sergeant Major, but y'all got to watch 2 Tesla rockets launch. I mean, they're not Tesla rockets, but 2 of Elon Musk's rockets launched while you were down there.
I mean, they didn't call them Tesla rockets.
Yeah,
that whole Bertrand
you
Russell
know what I'm talking
thing,
about. Yeah. that's not the Russell conjugation thing, though. That's something that's called a nomonym.
I mean, I understand that it's a nomonym, but the principle behind the emotional value of words.
There was a spider trying to sneak into my coffee.
Spit it out.
He lost that fight. So nomonyms.
Well,
I hadn't intended to talk about nomonyms, but...
Well, no, but you've got the emotional component of words. Yes, it's a nomonym, but when you say, like, a Tesla rocket, like, nobody needs an explanation.
Well,
it's not technically a Tesla rocket, but everybody knows
that's what
you
a
mean.
nomonym is by definition. So, okay, when a nomonym is a word that has meaning other than the meaning that is definitionally assigned to it, that's understood through the context of its application. For example, if you say the administration, everybody knows, unless you are in a very specific conversation, everybody knows that you're talking about the U.S. government's administration. If you say the Biden administration, you know that you're talking about the executive branch. If you say Capitol Hill, depending on the context, you know that either you're talking about something going on in government, or you may be talking specifically about a conversation being had in Congress, etc. The same thing goes for things like a Kleenex. If I say Kleenex, you know I mean facial tissue, even if the one you hand me is off-brand or some other brand. Frisbee, they're all flying discs are not Frisbees, but you will recognize them as such. And that's how a nomonym works. So similarly, when we say pride,
I was wondering. I was
normally,
like, okay.
People know that unless you are actually having a conversation about a person's individual feelings, a person taking pride in their good works, or you're actively talking about the 7 deadly sins, when you just say pride, contextually for the last 20 years or so, it's assumed that you're talking about gay pride. It's assumed that you're talking about Pride Month. And when you say Pride Month, people know that you're not talking about, Black History Month and Black Pride, or Mexican History Month and Mexican Pride, or, well, there's not a White Pride Month because we're not allowed to be proud of ourselves or happy or
if you ever want to find out if a thing is bigoted or racist, substitute the word white for whatever other special group. Like Black Pride. Okay, cool. How about White Pride? Oh, no. Oh, so maybe Black Pride is also racist.
Ooh, maybe what we should do tomorrow is just we'll just go through all the different things on Wikipedia. We'll just look at the Wikipedia article on White Pride, Black Pride, Mexican Pride, Gay Pride, etc., etc. You'll see that they're all extraordinarily positive, except for one.
Yeah, one of these things is not like the other, and I'm sure it has to do with the patriarchy and internalized misogyny and all that other, like...
Of course.
Of course. So
it's Pride Month.
Yay!
And,
I didn't...
Don't. You'll note, I hope, that despite the thumbnail this morning featuring a group holding up a pride flag at a pride festival, I did not rainbow wash the BFM logo, and I won't. That's the BFM logo will always be proudly red and fire, not flamin', fire.
See, the joke's right there too.
Because fire is bright and fire is clean.
Fire also purifies.
And divine.
Yeah, fire also purifies. It's good for that.
Indeed.
It's what you need to make bread and whiskey. Hard to do without fire.
Indeed.
I mean, you can make whiskey without fire, but man, it's not going to taste
meat.
very good.
A proper steak is the correct balance of blood and fire.
If you
have applied too much fire, you will have depleted the blood. And the blood... I have faith in the flavor of blood.
To be fair, though, a proper steak also has salt and butter.
Fair enough.
That's all you need, though.
But I'll also challenge you with this one. I have been to the firing range many times, and I'll tell you, if there's not a raw steak on the table while you're shooting your rifle, there's just something missing from the experience. It's inadequate.
Okay, fair enough. So, let's back up and give you guys just a little bit of...
it is Woke Wednesday.
That's right, Woke Wednesday.
Yes.
So Chris and I have been having some discussions behind the scene. We used to be pretty rigidly formatted, and we've moved away from that. I have been a proponent of going back to it, and Chris has been a proponent of not, because I have argued that restriction breeds creativity, and Chris, of course, has been arguing, said, no, freedom to discuss whatever we want is important. So this is the compromise. Going to continue with Me More Monday and Firearms Friday.
Firearms Friday is not going away anytime soon.
Yeah, because we like talking about guns, frankly. And then, so the compromise is we are introducing a new segment known as Woke Wednesday. And what better day to roll it out than on day one of Pride Month. Man, I should have found one of those memes. It's Pride Month again. Because the first 5 months of the year, you're totally not allowed to be proud to be gay.
Right. And so I have quite a few friends and family members that fall into the LGBT community. And it's difficult to discuss this without saying something that will be treated as if it is hateful. But the fact of the matter is this: I don't hate you. Largely, I don't care. Right? What my wife and I do in the privacy of our bedroom is none of your business. And when I say I don't care about your gayness, let me clarify that a little bit. I mean, I really don't care. As in, I don't want to hear the details. I'm not interested. I'm no more interested in your conquests than I am in his. I don't need blow-by-blows of the stripper he picked up, right? I assume you picked up a stripper last night. It's the vest. Between the leather vest and the hair, I just assume that there's a lot of strippers.
I mean,
maybe some coke.
I mean, brother, I'm smooth, but I'm not that smooth. And coke's expensive. I'm trying to pay bills. Okay.
Our buddy Bam Bam used to say, "Man, you gotta have a day job. You can't run coke and whores all the time. The tax man to get you."
Well, look, and what you're saying is so important. It's not gay bashing. But it is sure as shit gay pride bashing.
Right, and I don't care if you're gay, but you don't get to trans my kids. You don't get to groom my children.
Yeah, it's my job to decide when having the birds and the bees talk is appropriate for my children, and frankly, that's probably going to differ from child to child if I'm being in any way a competent parent. Okay, so yeah, we're going to go in hard on Pride Month and how stupid it is. The bedroom. Oh, wow.
Good morning, dear.
Well, your wife just showed up. That
I
made me
love
blush.
you.
But anyhow, how stupid it is. But it's not that gay people are stupid. It's just that it's so. You know what? I think it's time. Can we do the thing? I think.
So this clip isn't exactly about the gay. It's about the pander. And this is part of what the problem... No, this is the problem with Pride Month.
No more questions? They said no, she has to
I
go.
assume
What's
most
something
people
that you
already
always
saw this
carry
clip,
with
or at
you?
least heard
Hot
about
sauce.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you getting information right now?
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce in my bag, swag?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yes.
Now listen, I
yes.
just want you to know, people are going to see this and say, okay, she's pandering to black people again.
Okay. Is it working?
Boy, that was.
Oh, YouTube just made a point for me. Okay, so before we get into that, there's this thing in the algorithm where, in theory, if you watch something that is biased to one political side or the other, YouTube, in theory, tries to follow it up by suggesting a perspective from the other side. And what that really turns into more often than not is if you watch something right-wing, they try to follow it up with something left-wing. And they just followed Hillary Clinton up with Thomas Sowell. Guys, Thomas Sowell was a dyed-in-the-wool, devout, hardcore communist. After having been a Marine and going to college, in college, he became a flag-waving communist and has said many times, he tells the story and people ask him, well, what made you change your mind? What was your red pill moment? What convinced you that the communists were wrong and that conservatism and free markets were the right choice? And he said, oh, that's easy. I got a job in government. And there's no more explanation to it. Oh, that's easy. I went to work in government.
Bing. Okay,
Ding,
so
ding, ding, ding.
so the Hillary Clinton thing. Golly, I forgot at the end where she says, "Is it working?"
Is it working?
Oh my god. Oh, everything about that is why I just detest Pride Month, because it is, to me, it is that level of cringe. It's that level of pandering. They don't care that you're gay. They really don't. They care that they can use you.
Hermano,
because you're
cómo
gay.
te extraño.
This Doritos.
Se lo presté el día de los muertos.
¡Oh! ¡Tío Alberto!
¡Qué sorpresa! ¿Qué hubo, familia? ¿Cómo están?
Alberto.
¿Quién es él? Es Mario, mi pareja.
Shock horror.
¡Qué milagro! Creí que este iba a estar solo para siempre. ¡Qué lindos!
Ay, Shipsekia.
I mean, seriously, that was a commercial about chips?
Yeah.
Where were the corn chips?
Boom,
Oh.
there.
Okay,
There.
there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Corn chips. They're there.
Look, you have one job. Your job is to be.
And she eats one. Oh, there. They're there again. And
Your job is to be a crunchy MSG delivery device. That.
there they are again. Poof, in the corner. And I believe that's the last time they appear. Oh, no. Oh, one more time. Boop, in the corner. And yeah, they're not featured. They don't matter. And yeah, the end of it is it's never too late. Right? From the people who brought you the San Francisco gay men's choir singing, no, we really are coming for your children. We really are going to convert your children. Singing a big band chorus number. We really, really do want to convert your children. We get, oh, by the way, just like a Mormon going around and reading after last rites to convert the dead after they've passed.
Okay, that's.
Yeah, it won't be long before we're digging up graves to alter your anatomy.
Jesus. Okay, maybe. Golly. At this point, we were discussing something not entirely related, but I miss the pre-Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself world. Because it used to be you'd say something like that and I'd just laugh at it. Like, I wouldn't even worry about it. But now I'm like, haha.
But now we have to gay all the things.
That's probably not going to happen. Yeah.
Welcome to rainbow washing.
Yeah. Look, I have immediate family members who let's just say are not straight.
Damn!
Golly.
My mother.
Boy, your mother just brought the savagery.
Ooh. That's for you, Ma. That's a top comment for my mother.
Wow.
Jesus.
Talk about dark humor is like food.
Not everybody gets it. But, okay, so let's bring it back around. Here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have family members, immediate family members, who do not identify as cis. And, like, God, I really hope for these people that you don't feel like this sort of stuff is representative of you. Because if we're all this is one of those things where, like, everybody's afraid to tell you that the baby is ugly. Stop shoving the pictures in my face. Right? And that's what this is. That's what we're all supposed to celebrate it. It's all supposed to be this wonderful thing. But, like, seriously, Uber, I just need for you to pick me up for $20. Okay? I don't care about the gayness. I just care if you tell me you're gonna see this. I made a joke yesterday about Oreo cookies. Be like, I just need you to be a cookie. I don't need you to be gay. And then it turns out Oreos actually has a gay cookie campaign. I was just joking.
Now, in fairness, this gay cookie campaign was last year, but so was this next article. Um, so, and this is kind of the point that we're getting at here. Faux woke corporations go all out for Pride Month, except Middle East branches.
Gee.
Oh, what do you know? Now, this article is from last year, but it's they're doing the same thing again this year, sort of. And we'll get to that in just a second. And we got 10 minutes left. So, at least 7 major multinational companies changed their social media logos to rainbows as June began for Pride Month. This article's from Breitbart, by the way. The companies notably failed to update logos on their Middle East and Asian pages where LGBT people face the most oppression. It appears that for most corporations, concern for LGBT persons is limited by geographic boundaries, as evidenced by their social media accounts. The only places in the world that you see Pride Month are the places where the LGBTQ community are in fact free to engage in what they engage in. They're free to not only be whatever flavor of queer they prefer to be.
Ew.
But they're free to do it openly to such an extent, like we've been talking about the inadequacy of the police of late. Many of these pride parades involve exposing children to nude adults engaged in sodomy.
Yeah, don't take your kids to Pride.
No.
Don't do it.
If you go to the big pride parades and pride festivals, it's not just, hey, I'm happy to be gay. It's, I want you to watch me do it. And that...
Yeah, you will be made to care.
That is a crime.
Well, and that's one of those things where... Like,
No,
go ahead.
The title of the episode today, the thumbnail title, I'm just going to show that to you one more time. You will be made to pretend to care.
Yes.
You will be forced to read from the playbook where you say, okay, how do I virtue signal just enough to stay out of the gulag? Right? But there is fight back.
Wait. We pretend to work and they pretend to pay us, so we pretend to care and they pretend to leave us alone? I mean...
In a perfect world, that might be how it worked.
But
But
it's
they
not
don't
how
even
it works.
pretend to leave us alone.
You're exactly right, and it's never enough.
Of course
That's
I'm
the
right.
other side of it.
You said it's never enough. I pulled an article up, hoping I could get those words out of your face. PrideBrandGuide.com. It's never enough. Rainbow with a cause. A guide to help brands create more thoughtful, purposeful, and inclusive pride content. So the left will complain about a thing they call rainbow washing. You've already heard me use the phrase this morning. And when we talk about rainbow washing, this is what we're talking about. These guys, we're gonna make our logo rainbow to support pride. And what this website does, what this organization, Pride Brand Guide, know your her story. Pride was born in a riot, and 2019 marks the 50th anniversary of Stonewall. Learning more about Johnson and Baker is a good place to start. Know your way, show your true colors, yada da 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 da. The LGBTQ plus community has been pushing brands to develop more meaningful pride initiatives, but industry specific. There. Y'all read that better?
Yeah.
But industry perspectives on how to do it are few and far between. So the LGBTQ folks and allies within Cappuccino and Fujikato decided to do something about it. Combining departments, identities, and experiences, we focused on the thing almost every brand focuses on during Pride, the flag and its colors. The result is a Pride brand guide for organizations written specifically for the thinkers, writers, etc. Let's do something for Pride. It strives to help brands go beyond a rainbow logo for a more purposeful, inclusive, and authentic Pride experience.
Initiative.
Initiative. As in, it's not enough for you to say you love us and accept us. You need to give us money.
You need to love us harder and be even more accepting and open up your wallet. And your her
when you
story.
talk about brands doing this crap, let me show you.
Yes.
What is it?
All these windows pulled up, and now you have to pull up a different one.
Like a creepy neighbor.
Say what?
Us, they're a good neighbor. But would a good neighbor target 5-year-olds for conversations about sexual identity? That's what State Farm's doing. Asking employees to
State Farm
donate
asking
guides to
employees
being
to donate guides
transgender
to
to public schools. Books aimed at making kindergartners question their identity. It's textbook indoctrination. These books don't belong in elementary schools, and State Farm shouldn't be putting them there. Like a creepy neighbor, State Farm is there.
YouTube is just making my show for me today. Thank you. But as I understand it, though, State Farm has already scrapped that program as a result of that precise pressure campaign. But State Farm is not the only brand doing that. There's an organization, and now I forget the name of the organization, but there's an organization that is getting brands to engage by donating material to supply their grooming programs. And that's exactly what that is. They're saying, here, we want to give pro-genital mutilation children's books to 5-year-olds in public schools. And in order to do that, we need you big brands to donate that material, right? That's a problem that we've been running into increasingly of late. And so I want to close on this story and explain why I want to close on this story.
That's fine. Let me address. Steve earlier up in the comments said that I can't. I forget the exact thing, but I can't fault capitalists for trying to capitalize on it. If that was what was going on, if this was just a cynical money grab, I don't think it would bother me as much. But I think it's the whole you will be made to care, and it's the whole let's just wokeify everything, and it's the whole we're going to shove pride so far in your face it's impossible not only for you to avoid it, but impossible for you to have your children avoid it. And I don't care if you think it's bigoted or not. If I think that it's not appropriate to have a conversation with my 8-year-old about why some kids have 2 dads, well, you could take a long walk off a short pier because it's my 8-year-old that I have to have the conversation with. Don't try and subvert me as a parent and force the conversation on me. There are some things that I should just be able to go to, like, I don't know, for example, a football game, and just watch the fucking football game. That's all.
Damn, man, we made it to 2 minutes before 8 before you broke the fuck bomb.
I broke it too.
Broke it. Ah. So, and I've got enough time to go over a little bit this morning, so I'm going to. This article is from 2016, and I'm bringing it up to make this point. It's 7 companies that don't support gay rights from Huffington Post. So we're not going to dig into this article too much. I want you to see this headline, right, and the time frame. It's from, the article's actually from 2013, and it was updated in 2016. They were talking about the repeal of DOMA, which, okay, quick aside. I was in Afghanistan when DOMA was repealed, and they pulled me and my team off of missions. Right? Let me rephrase that so that you understand what I'm saying clearly.
They understood.
They asked me to stop killing terrorists for a week in the middle of an active war so that I could be trained and then train my soldiers on how to put up with having homosexuals in the military. Let me let you in on a big secret that's not so secret. Before DOMA was repealed, and don't get me wrong, DOMA was bad law from the get-go. Absolutely. So was the Don't Ask, Don't Tell, right? Before Don't Ask, Don't Tell and DOMA were repealed, though, let me just make this very clear. big secret that everybody knows is we had gays in the military and nobody gave a shit. You go find, I dare you, go find me a story of a homosexual that was thrown out of the military for being homosexual without a paper trail of just incompetence or aggravation. What you will find is that everywhere that was actually used to discharge somebody, it was either because somebody was looking for an excuse to get rid of a bad egg, or there was one high-ranking officer that I can't remember his name, but I remember how it went down. Basically, he came out publicly and made a big deal about being openly gay in uniform, and that was, look, they had to put him out because he basically forced them to. He made the choice to force them to throw him out on Don't Ask, Don't Tell as a basically a mechanism of civil disobedience. Now,
Bert
civil
says they had him
disobedience
in
is a little trickier when you're talking about violating the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
Yeah.
But
Dan Burke says they had him in the Marines in the 70s and nobody cared.
yeah, nobody cared. Nobody cared.
But you will be made to care.
And that was the point. And you go back and you look at Clinton signing those bills into law, and you got to wonder, was that part of the demoralization campaign to begin with? And yes, it absolutely was. It was about
we're going to swing. We're going to
care.
deliberately swing the pendulum too far one direction, so that when it comes back, we can bank on the pendulum swinging too far the other direction. Ha! Like, I'm going to lose this battle, but win the war.
Yep.
Anyhow,
basically, Clinton kicked the gays out of the military so that in the future, Obama could trans your kids and Biden could sniff your daughters.
We're over time. Let's go. Let's do it.
So, but the point to be made here, we're talking about an article from 2013, 7 companies that don't support gay rights. Basically, this is a call to boycott based on political positions. And that's not quite the call that I'm going to issue in a minute, but I am going to suggest at least a marginal boycott. But we're seeing, we've got this article now, it's 2022, we've got this article from the Blue State Conservative, Canceling Cancel Culture, Backlash Towards Woke Mob Continues. Similar article from New York Post Entertainment section, Netflix tells woke workers to quit if they are offended, in Culture Memo. So this one in particular, in light of the internal dissension triggered by productions like Dave Chappelle's controversial, too much, get out of here.
Dave Chappelle's controversial
stand-up special. Netflix has reportedly issued a memo to its disgruntled staffers underscoring that the streaming behemoth values the artistic expression of its content creators over each employee's personal thoughts, beliefs, and lifestyles. Any worker who doesn't like it can flicks off.
I swear this whole article was written just so they could incorporate that pun.
I agree. And then the other piece of this, so Netflix is kind of leading the charge right now on de-wokeifying. Netflix cancels some of its woke shows, signaling its backpedal from leftism is well underway. Now, this is from the 20th, so this is from just over a week ago. They've announced several more shows that they're getting rid of, but basically, they suffered huge backlash over Cuties, and then there's Big Mouth and a lot of just other just garbage. They were also forced to cancel the live-action adaptation of Cowboy Bebop after just 3 weeks.
How do you fail with Cowboy Bebop?
I know.
See you next time, Space Cowboy.
Whoops.
Nope, no you won't, because you got canceled.
Anti-racist baby, right? So basically, they just had this slate for the last about 10, 15 years at least. If you just show up to a producer and say, hey, I hate white people in America and I wrote a TV show, will you give me several $1 million? The answer was a qualified and immediate yes. And Netflix is finally starting to learn after it lost millions of subscribers and a huge chunk of its market capitalization
Not
value.
millions, hundreds of thousands.
Okay.
I thought they lost about 250,000 last.
Okay, they lost a shitload of subscribers. We can double check that later, but I'm not gonna run extra fact check right now. They lost a shitload of subscribers. Is my
Yes.
point. They're starting to figure out that people don't want this garbage, and
Well, and now they also have to compete against CBS and Hulu and Disney Plus. Like
Right.
Netflix for a time. Like, remember when everybody made fun of them? Be like, you're going to start moving your library to online and go streaming. What? You guys are going to fail. And then instead, they put Blockbuster out of business.
I bought some Netflix stock when that was going on, and it went well.
Yeah,
It went very well,
I can imagine.
and I got out before it went wrong.
Yeah. At about the same time, would have been a really good time to buy some Bitcoin.
Yeah, it was a little earlier than that, but yeah. Yeah, my Netflix stock trade actually funded most of the gun trailer.
Fair enough.
So yeah, that was an okay one. So, and then there was one more I wanted to touch on real quick. Maverick. So, and this will be the last thing because it just kind of
Wait, Top Gun?
shows Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, apparently
The
it's
most
good.
critical critics that hate every movie are saying Maverick's a good flick. They're saying it's a go. Even Critical Drinker says would recommend.
Yes.
And a big piece of that recommendation is Maverick is cheesy, it's predictable, it's classic action movie without woke messaging that is unapologetically. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, but apparently they don't club
But
you over the head with the
apparently
message.
it's not soaked in the message. Thank you, Drinker. And it's unapologetically pro-American, which
Makes it an oddity.
Tom Cruise is a nutbag.
But he's also a very
Too
accomplished.
short to be an action star?
Well, apparently not.
Apparently not.
No, look, a couple of things. One, I would say, based on what I've read about Maverick, when you pay the Navy $11,000 an hour to actually fly you around in jets, it's the same thing with Fury Road. What they did is they filmed all the car crashes and then just had a little bit of CGI enhancement.
Right.
Well, apparently the same thing here. They actually put the actors in jets, and apparently the pilots would do things like try and make them pass out and throw up.
Yeah, pilots are cocky.
They have to be. They sit in cockpits.
If you hand a pilot a person, they'll play with it.
But no, actually, I think it's very similar to what happened with The Mandalorian. I don't think The Mandalorian is actually the best show that ever happened. It's just, it finally gave us some Star Wars that was like Star
That didn't
Wars
have
first.
Admiral Gender Studies or
and all the messaging.
Fembot.
Exactly, that it had all the messaging stuff that took second place to actually trying to tell a competent story, and everybody went, "Oh, hey, character arcs, I like that."
Yeah. So
yeah,
we're implementing the Woke Wednesday for this reason, right? I'm not doing Woke Wednesday today to bash on Pride Month.
I am, but
I mean, a little bit, but we're launching Woke Wednesday today because bashing on Pride Month for the political nut jobbery that it is. Busted strong! Bashing on Pride Month for the just complete astroturf bullshit that it is, and the woke catering of the large companies is a great excuse to launch our Woke Wednesday. And what I intend to do with this idea, just like we tore into CNN with WTF CNN Wednesdays, CNN just doesn't matter that much anymore. Their reporting they're weak. They're so deeply discredited now that they're not even worth parodying and analyzing. They don't matter anymore. But the wokeness does. And what we're seeing is a trend. Netflix is not the only example, it's just the only one we have time for this morning. because we talk too much about other stuff. But Netflix is going to be a bit of a vanguard here as we watch more and more large companies. This is my prediction, especially as we move closer and closer to the Red Tsunami this November. We're going to see a wave of backlash where these woke companies pull woke messaging and say, we're out. And it's because while the analytics show a large number of people demanding the wokeness on Twitter, lazy analytics producers see all that wokeness and assume, oh, this is the sentiment of the American people. It's not. It's a very tiny, narrow percentage of the American people. People that are actually in the LGBT community only represent about 3 to 5% of Americans. Now, that's changing too because of grooming in public schools. Right, my generation had about a 7 to 8% occurrence of some sort of LGBTQism. The current generation is nearly a quarter. Nearly 25% of the current generation children identify as some kind of LGBTQ. And I do say children because we are talking about precisely the children that the Florida law targets, that the Florida law identifies as needing protection.
Well, and they do need protection. Ariel Scarelli, I'm blanking on her last name, but she's been the YouTuber for a long time who was on the left and has swung to the right over time because she's so tired of all the very same pandering bullshit that we're talking about. And she's explained that when she was a child, if she had heard some of this messaging, she would not have assumed she was a lesbian. She would assume she was trans, and she'd have made some terrible decisions with her life. So, but...
Like voluntary cosmetic mutilation?
Yes, exactly that. So,
yes.
So, yeah. So, oh, what? I like to play sports, so I'm not gay. I'm actually trans. Like, it's... Anyhow, but we are way over. Pride Month is just a giant cringe fest. Like, so, well, what about straight month? You don't need straight month. Every month is straight month. Okay, look, seriously, here's how equality, and honestly, like, you want to be equal? All right, here's the thing that makes us all equal. None of us can control the circumstances of our birth. None of us. Not one. So if you really, really, really want things to be equal, you'll stop with all this black pride, gay pride, whatever pride. Mommy pride, daddy pride. Shut up, okay? Maybe take pride in doing a good job at something. Maybe take pride at making a difficult decision, taking right action at cusp. Maybe take pride in all that. But, God, really...
Damn, Heinlein.
Well, look, I'm just saying, like, who you sleep with and how often you do it doesn't make you special. It just doesn't. Stop it. Stop it. Of course, that's why they want to change the word to equity from equality, because then they can...
Okay, that's a whole new rabbit hole.
Yeah,
Y'all be safe. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow.